Seasons, greetings, and salutations, sports fans nationwide. You have entered the Sports Opinion Log. And of course, today is the most extraordinary day as I, representative of Laker Nation, top 1%er, people sportscaster, wishing the King, LeBron James. We are all witnesses a happy 36th birthday on this night. And of course, the Lakers will be taking on the San Antonio Spurs. So I look forward to a birthday win and victory over the San Antonio Spurs. And of course, be doing what I do best. Let us take a minute and a moment to acknowledge that we are all witnesses to the greatness of LeBron James, four-time NBA champion, four-time NBA Finals MVP, four-time NBA MVP, 13-time All-NBA First Team, and of course, 16-time NBA All-Star, who of course, the prophecy, he fulfilled it, which is why I'm wearing the gold for royalty, His Royal Highness, the King, LeBron James. The only thing that makes me sad is that I do not have my authentic LA Lakers white LeBron James jersey as I'm making this video. It's en route to me, and of course, there will be a video dropping. So if you're down with all things NBA sports, Eastern or Western Conference, make sure you're subscribing to the channel and pressing the bell icon to stay notified for the next upcoming future video. Now, of course, there's so much NBA stuff going on that I'm going to be all over the place in this video. And you know what? IDGAF, because honestly, even though I don't have 1,000 subscribers as I was hoping to before the conclusion of this year, I still have put out content and videos that have garnered, some of them, over 1,000 views. I'm here, honestly, sports fans nationwide, I'm here for the love of the game. And of course, my last couple of videos about the Giants being a racist organization, which they are, and Dwayne Haskins being released by the Redskins, which is most unfortunate. Guess what? I don't care what you ignorant masses and what you sheeple have to say, because at the end of the day, you loser nationwide, you are commenting on my videos. You are commenting on my channel. At the end of the day, I don't have to placate the ignorant masses who don't even know how to fucking read a newspaper, or probably don't even know what a newspaper is anymore. So, plus, the sports experiences that I've had in my real life will be more than anything you could ever hope to accomplish in your lackluster, meaningless lives. Because it was I, NBA All-Star 2011, who got to walk next to the immortal Kobe Bryant. It was I who have seen and met and spoke with twice Magic Johnson, once Scottie Pippen, Clyde Drexler. It goes on and on and on. And I too had the pleasure of meeting the King, LeBron James, NBA All-Star 2011, when they formed the Big Three, D. Wade, Chris Bosh. Learn to recognize the real motherfuckers. That's the issue with a lot of you fake-ass fans who swap out jerseys and hats with other teams mid-game. Who the fuck does that? You know who does that? A weak-minded person. So I am only here for the free thinkers, the few that are even out there and available in real life, let alone social media. So with that being said, let me go back and forth with what I want to talk about, which is also still the headlining topic. Like I, the prophet, had decreed. We're going to start with Russell Westbrook, who I had already said his career was going to be DOA when he signed or got traded to the Washington Wizards. And look at what's happened so far. They're 0-4. And Russell Westbrook is quoting MLK on his Instagram. No one cares. Russell Westbrook joins the Big O, Oscar Robinson, as the only players in NBA history to average a triple-double in the first 3 games of a season. But yet, he's 0-4. Meanwhile, Bradley Beal is averaging 23, 5, and 5. It is a sad state of affairs, and honestly, Russell Westbrook, as much as he brings it, doing his triple-double magic, at the end of the day, he will be vilified for how he's performed in the postseason, in the playoffs, when the bright lights are activated and the national stage was set. He is useless and worthless, and his style of ball clearly is clashing with Bradley Beal. And also, it seems that the Wizards really don't have much of a bench, but when you have upwards of what? 300 to $400 million tied up in two players. What do you expect? Speaking of expect, the biggest shock of the season so far, Toronto Raptors 0-3 on the season, and they are the only team in the last 20 seasons to start 0-3 after blowing a double-digit lead in all three games. And you know who I'm going to place the blame on for that? Fred VanVleet and his $85 million contract. Give me a break. And speaking of breaks, how about what the Bucks did to the Miami Heat, breaking them down, setting an NBA record for three-pointers made with 29. Wow, 29 three-pointers made. And of course, the final score on that was 144 to 97. Wow, a 47-point blowout. But of course, let it be noted that Jimmy Butler wasn't there. And this is the regular season. So guess what? Lex Anderson, IDGAF. You know why? Because the Bucks have failed to reach the NBA Finals. No one cares. They could hit 33 pointers for every game for the rest of the season. It doesn't matter if they're going to flame out once again in the playoffs like they've been doing with great frequency the last 2 to 4 seasons, if anyone's been paying attention. And I have to correct myself. I had thought that the Hawks weren't going to be a big deal, but they currently are. They are 3-0, undefeated. Trae Young is lighting up the league. Last 3 games, 37 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 36 points, 9 assists, 3 rebounds, 29 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. This young man is torching the league, and it looks like since the Dominique Wilkins era, dare I say it, are the Atlanta Hawks legitimate contenders in the East? Why not? Hell, even the Knicks are winning games. They had beaten the Bucks a couple of days ago. Like, who could have seen that coming? Orlando Magic also undefeated, 4-0. Brooklyn Nets 2-2. And by the way, the Brooklyn Nets are a cursed franchise. You heard it here first, as the injury bug came and claimed the season of Dinwiddie, their all-star point guard, who had held it down in the absence of Kyrie Oddball Irving. So that's a big loss for the Brooklyn Nets. And of course, the curse came full circle when Ja Morant suffered a sprained ankle, and he's going to be out 3 to 5 weeks. And honestly, sports fans nationwide, I was so distraught when they did it on slow-mo, and you see Ja Morant and his ankle turn and the way he just collapsed on the floor, rolling, writhing in pain. And I'm like, oh my God, Brooklyn Nets, you cursed franchise. Why have you claimed a visitor instead of someone on your own team? And poor Ja Morant, who had started the season with 44 points, is on the shelf for 3 to 5 weeks. What a disappointment. Like, for real, I'm like totally disappointed. Just as disappointed as Raptor fans should be that their team is 0-3, and of course the Wizards 0-4, and out there on the Western Conference, I'm not really panicking about where the Lakers are because, again, quick turnaround on the season. We need the rest. We need the load management. Let everybody else fight out for it. As long as we get into the playoffs, that's all that really matters. And speaking of playoffs, Sacramento Kings 3-1. Meanwhile, freaking Denver Nuggets are 1-3. Like, what's going on here? Rockets 0-2, and of course, until they get rid of Harden, who wants to play on every other team in the NBA outside of Houston, who knows when that'll ever come to fruition. Minnesota Timberwolves, they're 2-2, but of course, Karl Anthony Towns out with a dislocated wrist. You know, what else is new with him and injuries and just the Timberwolves as a franchise? It's horrible. Speaking of horrible franchises, Golden State Warriors, already the fake-ass all-star. Draymond Green is on the trading block. And like Ida Prophet had decreed that Draymond Green, he got his contract, he got his money, he's going to mail it in, he's done, he's done. So I look forward to it being a reality that Draymond Green gets traded by the Golden State Warriors. And I believe that young man, Kelly Oubre, finally hit a three-pointer after going, let's see, they've played 2-2, 4 games. So it took him 3 games to finally hit a three. So clearly, Kelly Oubre is not the adequate replacement for Klay Thompson. And I'm sure Steph Curry cries with each and every loss after every game. But you know what? That's too bad, and that's not my concern because I represent Laker Nation all day, every day, 24/7. Holler if you hear me, because I'm here to be heard. But just to backtrack real quick on the Denver Nuggets, who need to realize last season they lost to the King, LeBron James, and the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. If you do not come with your A game, you are going to get your ass beat each and every night. You shouldn't be 1-3. Either you step up or you're just going to get beat down in this league, honestly, because they're gunning for you. And speaking of in this league and gunning, ending it on a positive note, because that's what I'm about. Thankfully that the NBA is back, because NBA viewers have watched 81.5 million hours of live games on ABC, the nationwide sports leader, and TNT in the open week of the season, up 95% from opening week last year in 2019. In terms of total hours, this season's opening week was the most viewed since 2011. That is crazy. Games shown on the nationwide sports leader on Christmas Day, Pelicans versus Heat, Clippers against Denver, was up 10% in average viewers to 2.83 million. And the opening week of the NBA was a huge boost to social media. The NBA saw a 36% increase in video views and a 279% increase in minutes watched in this year's opening week compared to opening week in 2019. And the NBA said that opening week this year was the most watched week in the 15-year history of their YouTube account and also on Instagram. So that's definitely a boost, because guess what, sports fans nationwide? We're still in the grips of a pandemic. The NBA is doing a great job at keeping their players and their personnel safe, and the cameramen, the camera women, the people who do the work behind the scenes so we can enjoy these games. They are definitely bringing it with each and every game. The players, the competition is still great. These players are definitely bringing it. So, yeah, it's good to see that the NBA is riding back high and keeping us entertained through a most trying time. Because it truly is, honestly, for me, the love of the game. So, yeah, the goal to 1,000 subscribers is still ongoing. In spite of my success will be inevitable. Thank you very much, sports fans nationwide, for tuning in. Until next time, Lex Anderson signing out.